Okay. All right, tribe experience. Oh, hold on. Just muted myself. That's not good. That's not good. Can't mute myself. Hashtag tribe up. Hashtag tribe up. So let's see here. We're going to record this to the cloud. There he is. There he is. There he is. Haha. The man himself. Beautiful Facebook Live the other day, brother. Beautiful. All right. Awesome, guys. We are going to get rocking right now. Let me just see here. I just want to make sure we are recording. Turn this down for a second. And we will get rocking. Guys, so tonight we're going to go through a couple things. Well, one main core assignment. So just make sure that you got something ready to write with, ready to rock in terms of your journal. There we go. There we go. Love it. Again, if you can use the same journal throughout the experience, it will serve you well because you'll be able to pull up and open it up at any moment and just gain some knowledge, gain some wisdom, gain some takeaways each and every single week. So we're going to start out here and just go through just a simple exercise and get a little bit centered. So let me put on something here. It's a little bit more relaxed. Okay, cool. Awesome. So let's just take a minute wherever you are, unless you're driving or somewhere in public, and let's get centered here. And we're going to set a little intention for our session tonight. We're going to set an intention for our session tonight. So just close your eyes for a second. Close your eyes. Just take a couple deep breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. And whatever's happened today, I just want you to let it go. So no matter what's happened, whether it's been an amazing day, an on-fire day, a challenging day, a mixed day, I want you to just take a moment and let it go. Because what's happened so far is not part of what's going to happen for the next 75 minutes or so. And now we get to create something new, no matter what has happened. So just take a moment to set an intention. What are you looking for tonight? You're looking for clarity, you're looking for focus, or you're looking for breakthrough, you're looking for insights, or you're looking for connection, or you're looking for space. Whatever that word is, whatever comes to mind, just let it come to mind. And sit with it for a second. I know a lot of you out there are reading High Performance Habits, and I love it because he talks about setting an intention to everything we do. As he has a technique, it means every time you walk through a door frame, you set an intention. It's a super, super powerful practice. The beautiful part about the intention is that we don't know how it's going to come. We just set it and then we just let it go. So take a couple deep breaths. And start coming back into the room here. And I just want you to write down whatever came to mind for your intention. And then once you've done that, if you're willing, I want you to type your intention into the comments, just like I did right there. Set an intention, we declare an intention. Really, really powerful practice. Love it. Faith in the process, re-engagement, energy, baby. Always bringing the heat, Nick. Always. Sustain. Love it. Beautiful. Keep typing them up as they come. Insight. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Very cool. Okay. So let's see what we got here. Awesome. So let's see. Slideshow. Okay, cool. So let me just share my screen with you guys. Desire. Beautiful. Guys, so this practice of setting an intention with everything we do is beautiful. I know a lot of you guys are reading High Performance Habits. That's why I mentioned it. And I love that it's a book about performance, and he talked about intention. People can think like intention is this very spiritual thing, but it's also very practical too, because intention shifts our awareness. And so when we shift our awareness, we shift our attention. So yeah, I have this quote that I say in the mastermind, or I've been saying for about 6 months, and it's intention, attention, expansion. All right, so we set an intention, our awareness shifts, our attention changes, and when we have those two, we experience growth. So tonight we're going to go through an exercise, and it's cool. We got an intimate group. I know a lot of people had sick children and were sick themselves, and so tonight we have a very intimate group, which means that we're going to get some nice shares and FaceTime that we normally wouldn't get when we have the whole squad here. So get ready, get ready. Normally this would be common stuff, but I'm going to put you guys fresh on video, and we're going to do a heavy dose of engagement to maximize this since it hasn't really happened before. So I'm going to start out sharing my screen. Just let me know if you guys can see this. Just give me a little thumbs up if you can see the screen. Beautiful. Okay, cool. So today's focus is something that's been on my mind for last couple of weeks, and it's been part of a lot of other conversations that I've had with different types of clients and different experiences. And it's perfect timing for you guys here. It's perfect timing for you guys here. Why? Because we've set outcomes. We've unlocked the vision for you all, right? Then we reverse engineered the vision. And then we started to set 90-day outcomes, right? And we've spoken about the components of that. And so now it's a matter of what I call bulletproofing what we've created, bulletproofing our vision, bulletproofing our outcomes. And the word that comes up time and time again to ensure this is simply alignment. Alignment. And so I want you to just start thinking, when you hear the word alignment, like, what comes to your mind, right? And alignment to me is one of the most powerful forces on the planet. And it's where a lot of people fall wrong with goal setting and what they're looking to create and all of that stuff. They create a vision, they reverse engineer the vision, and then they continue to do behaviors and have mindsets and patterns in their life that are in direct conflict to that vision and their outcomes. Direct conflict, 100%. And so what happens is that we're putting out this message that we want something, and you can call it to whoever, universe or whatever, just declaring something, but yet our behaviors and the patterns haven't really shifted or are aligned with that. And alignment is like a key, right? You can have a very similar key. You can have it in. You can have 8/10 of the alignment. But if the entire key is in alignment, you can wrestle with it. You can try to break it. You can do whatever you want. It's not going to turn. But the moment you get the right key, you put it in, flick of the wrist, and it opens. And that's alignment. This is where things start to become easier. Our outcomes are really, really hard when we're constantly out of alignment. It's like we take 2 steps forward and 1 step back, and then we take 2 steps back and then 1 step forward. And we always kind of find ourselves back at square 0 or square 1, right? We've all experienced this. Just start to think alignment, congruency, right? From the top down. And so I want you guys to just take a moment and ask yourself, how do you define alignment? Take a moment, and I want you to post this also to comments. How do you define alignment in life? I love it. No bullshit, Dylan says. It's true. Elizabeth says body, mind, spirit in the same place. Beautiful. Right? Beautiful. Congruency. Top-down congruency. Jason says no second guessing. All right? Stepping forward. With clarity, with faith, with trust. And so alignment is just this beautiful thing. Roseanne says, when all thoughts and emotions line up. Beautiful. Ooh, I like that. I like that one, Ryan. What you declare in public matches what you do in private. Really, really powerful. Right? Easy to say we want something big and declare it and get really excited and the dopamine hit in public, but then what are we doing when nobody's watching? Aaron says singularity of thought and intention. So these are all great, guys. These are all beautiful. I want you to honor how you define alignment. And so what I've noticed, and the reason why this is so powerful is, you know, I was having a conversation with a client recently, and he was a little frustrated. A little frustrated that things weren't coming to fruition fast enough. And I said, okay, great. So let's start examining, let's just take some inventory of some of the mindsets, the beliefs in your life right now. Let's take inventory of some of the behaviors and action steps in your life right now. Let's take inventory of some of the environments and the people and the places that surround your experience. And we started to notice that many of those were completely in opposition to where they wanted to go. All right? And so no wonder, not only does being out of alignment and not get us closer to where we're going, but we feel disconnected. We feel disjointed. Alignment is like feeling wise, it's a really powerful thing. Like top down, that congruency is really powerful. It's hard to describe. If we know what it's like not being in it, but being in it is hard to describe. Right? And so today I'm going to take you through some of the exercises that I took that very same client and that I like to do myself at least every quarter, because things change, we evolve, different things happen, new targets are set, new environments are created, and we have to ask ourselves, is this still in alignment with where I'm headed? Or does something need to shift? Because many times something definitely needs to shift. So we're going to go through this exercise here, and we're just going to take inventory and identify. For each one that I'm going to go through, we're going to identify one. Let's just say because we're going to do beliefs and mindsets and behaviors and all that. So we're going to identify one that's serving you. So you're going to identify one that's serving you. So the best way to do this is on your sheet here in your journal. Just do 2 columns. One says alignment. 2 columns on your journal. One is going to say alignment. And the other, out of alignment. And I have to preface this, that this is not, the purpose of this is not to like judge the crap out of yourself. Like at all. In fact, it's actually very empowering when we identify where we're out of alignment. Because then we get the ability to transform it, and guess what? We get the ability to step into alignment. So we all have behaviors. We all have beliefs. We all have patterns right now that are simply out of alignment with where we said we wanted to go. Everybody here, including myself. This is why I'm going to do this exercise with you. Let's see what comes up for me. So let's see. I just want to see here. Stop share for a second. Okay, cool. So we still have a small group. So we're gonna go in the trenches with this after each one. So we're gonna have a little journal time, and then I'm gonna go rapid fire. I'm gonna have you guys share what comes up, and go from there. Okay, back to screen share. Just want to see how many people are here. Okay, beautiful. So the first category is a mindset and belief, right? So for this one, again, we're going to identify one mindset and belief that is in alignment and what mindset and belief that is not in alignment. So this can be for your bigger vision that we've created, the 1 year vision. It could be for a specific bucket in your life, right? Maybe it's in the physical realm, maybe it's in the financial realm, maybe it's in the spirit realm, maybe it's in the relationship realm. We're going to take a moment and identify one mindset and belief that is in alignment and one that is not. So let's say you had this financial vision of 2xing your revenue or your income, right? And so we would identify a belief that is serving you and one that is not. So maybe, for example, the belief that is not serving you is that I don't know how I'm going to close that gap. So your belief is all about the how around this mindset, right? Or maybe the mindset is associated with, if you work with somebody else, around your boss and a promotion. Maybe you're believing that that is exactly what's in the way. Maybe have some type of scarcity issue. Maybe you've been making the same income for 5 years, and so even though you set a vision that you were going to double it, deep down you're thinking, well, I've been stuck at this income, right? So just take a moment. Maybe you have a side hustle. Maybe you do have your own venture. And so your belief is a matter of what you feel you deserve or what is possible for you. Maybe the belief is, I don't have enough clients. I don't know how to start. Just take a moment. Once you're done identifying that, just look up for me so I'll know you guys are ready to rock, and we are going to rapid fire share what comes up. I'll have to stop the share because Zoom is very weird and then I can't see you guys and all this stuff. I want to be able to see you guys. Part of the game. Once you're done, just look up for me and then we're just going to rapid fire right around. Okay, cool. I'm not seeing anybody here, right? Where's the other thing? See speaker view. Okay, cool. Okay, beautiful. So, awesome. So we're just going to share. We're going to share the mindset that's in alignment, number one, right, and the mindset that is out of alignment. So, Roseanne, get us started. What do we got?
You would start with me.
Of course. You're right here. You're front and center on my left.
Cool. So this has been on my mind like so much lately. So what's in alignment? Like, am I going to meet someone? Like, I'm in such a great place in my life. I'm successful. Like, I work hard. I have a great vision. And then I find myself on the other side, like, how am I going to meet someone? Like, it's really difficult for me being like, I feel like I have high standards and I'm like, well, am I that good? So it like, I go back and forth and I'm clearly still single.
Okay. So focusing on the how in regards to relationship. Yeah. Awesome. Out of alignment. Okay. What is in alignment there? What's a belief that's in alignment?
So the fact that I know I'm in a really great place in my life, that I am successful, that, you know, I do have a lot to offer someone.
Beautiful.
That sticks around for a little bit, but.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Awesome share. Awesome, guys. And today we're just going to declare them, right? Because we're going to go through something in a moment where we're going to transform one. And guys, for the ones that are in alignment, guess what? We double down on that stuff. All right. We spend more focus, more energy on the ones that are in alignment, and the ones that aren't, goodbye. Ryan, what do we got?
So the essentially what's in alignment is building something on the side for myself, like the side hustle piece. And that's the in alignment. What's out of alignment is buying into that saying of like, when you find your passion, you'll never work another day in your life kind of deal. It's like nothing feels like it's going to be hard work or it's not going to suck. And I think I still buy into that, even though I know knowledge-wise that it's not true. So
perfect, man. Perfect. Absolutely. So great to identify that, right? Because you know that no matter what you find, there's going to be parts of it that are going to be challenging. You're going to experience adversity. You'll probably want to give up a bunch of times. Now, when it's purposeful, you stay with it longer. Right? When it's important to you, you really stay with it. But that's the part of any game. So great share. Aaron, what do we got, brother?
My alignment would be that my job is an opportunity, not an obstacle, which is a very recent alignment.
Beautiful.
And the misalignment, though, would be referring to the stuff besides my job, which is that I don't really know where or how to start turning those into anything that's profitable.
Okay. Awesome. Beautiful. So my job is an opportunity. All right. Really, really great way to reframe things, because when we're in situations that we don't love or we want to change, it can be very easy for us to live deeply in the negativity of it, and it drains any potential to be used on something else. And the out of alignment one, man, we're gonna let that go. And you'll see how in a second. Dylan, what do we got?
Yeah, I would say the thing that's most in alignment is my workouts and diet, but my disalignment is still consistent bedtimes and waking times. That's my struggle.
Beautiful, man. I love this. So guys, sometimes the alignment, out of alignment stuff will be something that's like big. Sometimes it'll be really, really seemingly insignificant. And so when I was telling my client the other day, I was giving him the example that any meal that I have, I ask myself, is this connected to where I'm going? Now, it might sound like a little crazy, like I'm actually asking myself if a meal is connected to my vision. That's how I roll. Because it's not just one meal. I can have a meal, and now I'm in a poor emotional state if it's not a meal that's in line with my vision, which is physical energy, vitality, consistency, just feeling this like deep energy within me. So if I have a meal that puts me out of alignment, and maybe it's date night. So now I had a meal that's out of alignment. Now I'm going into date night, into connection with lower emotional energy, right? And we can see how one small decision can lead to big consequences in us being completely out of alignment for hours, weeks, months, maybe even a year. Great share. Elizabeth, what do we got?
I don't know if I did this right. First of all, I just want to say I bought a bag of Hershey Kisses today, and they are in alignment with my vision of happiness. So I focused on the area of business and finance. And I think where I'm in alignment is my sense of possibility and of how much opportunity there is and how much content I have and how well it's received. My area where I'm out of alignment is the gap between the how and the when. It's not even so much the how, it's just the how and the when, if that makes sense.
Got it. And when you say the when, what do you mean exactly by that?
Like when the hell is this gonna work?
Yeah.
Kind of, it's like the plan that I have, sorry children, the plan for execution it makes total sense to me, but it's just kind of like it could be any second or it could be 20 years from now. And
absolutely.
I don't have 20 years, so.
Beautiful. Awesome. And we're gonna see how we're gonna transform that later. Marcel, what do we got, brother? We're playing the mute dance.
I think now we're finally on. Yeah, mine also was considering my possible like PT side hustle. And what I'm in alignment is that I say I can teach, train, and inspire people. The thing that I'm not in alignment is that I don't know how to attract new clients.
Beautiful. I love it, man. Alignment, I have massive value to deliver in the realm of physical fitness, PT, et cetera, et cetera. All right. Out of alignment, I don't know how. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And we got a hot seat for you, which is going to be great. All right, Nick, what do we got, brother?
Let's see. So mine has to do with business, finance, side hustle. So the one that I have that's in alignment is like, I truly believe that my consistent work and content that I push out will create clients for me. I'm just like adding friends like we talked about last time, and I can see that there's a little more engagement. There's a little bit of an uptick, and I can see that, you know, with time, that's going to come my way. Like I believe that.
Beautiful.
The out of alignment piece is that I know I've had one coaching client, I've done a couple of beta versions, but like when that person sits in front of me, I'm not sure I fully believe that I can charge the amount or like feel good about charging the amount that I think that it's worth, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, man. 100%. 100%. Great show, brother. Powerful. Jason, can you hear us, my man?
I can hear you.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, cool. What do you got?
Sorry, guys. I'm out of town, so I have my work computer.
No, all good, man. You're good.
So I'm kind of on the same line with Marcel and Nick. The last 2 weeks, energy's been great. I've started training a good friend of mine, workouts, and then this week doing our head coach. I took on head coach, something I've never done because I've always been in the shadows, and just having that energy and kind of creating with the parents and taking initiative. I feel like I'm a coach at heart, a teacher at heart. I've always been complimented that way, even in my normal day job. But my out of alignment feels like marketing myself. Like I've already had 3 or 4 people approach me about training, and I'm just like, God, I don't want to charge you, you know, but I have something to offer. I don't know if it's a confidence thing or it's just like, hey, put myself out there that I can do it, fit it in, and so forth.
Huge. That's a huge one. And a lot of similarities with others, right? And so one is like being in alignment and honoring, and this goes for everybody, different contexts, but honoring what you bring to the table. Honoring the value that you bring to the table, whether it's in relationships or in PT training or in coaching or in books or in speaking or in whatever it may be. Owning that fully. Being in alignment with that, you can't be 80%. You can't be 80%. It's binary. It's 100 or 0. It's 100 or 0. Because it means being in alignment, it actually means every fiber of your being. It's like deeply ingrained. It's not surface area. It's not even conscious. It's like who you are. Right? And so that's one side of the equation. Right? Stepping fully into that. Now, what if you have that, but then there's part of you that says, I don't know how, or I feel uncomfortable charging this, or marketing, right? And if that's the case, then I would go back to, are you 100% on this side? Are you 100% in alignment? Because if you're truly 100% in alignment in the value that you bring, you won't have issues with the other stuff. You won't have issues marketing. You won't have issues selling. You won't have issues asking for 3 times what you believe was fair, but you do it and you put yourself out there because you know you bring the value. And you believe in that. And everybody in this group has high levels of value. And in your respective industries and what you're able to lead people on, you're considered an expert. And there's people that are looking for what you have to offer. And it's a matter of stepping up to the table fully and owning it. And that's a big piece, right? That's a big piece. Again, it's not a logical piece. It's like fully owning it and stepping into it. So that's one. So that was the mindset and belief part of this. So the next one that we're going to do here, and this one we're just going to write in our comments just for brevity here. I'm going to play from current slide. Okay, we got that. Share screen. So the next one that we're going to look at is a behavior or a habit. So some type of action step that is in alignment that you do, maybe it's a habit, and an action step that is not in alignment. So for example, if you're wanting to be in peak physical shape, but every night you're binging, then that would be the action step. That would be a potential action step, right? If you're wanting to grow your side hustle and you have 1 hour a day, but the behavior is you go on Instagram and you just mess around and click on random people's profiles and you don't actually create any content, then maybe that's the behavior, right? If the vision, you feel like deep presence and connectedness and the vision that you've created, yet you find yourself scattered throughout the day, right? And you're taking in all the stimulus, maybe you're watching 2 hours of TV a night, that would be a behavior that doesn't serve that goal, all right? So take a moment to identify a behavior or a habit that's currently in alignment with where you're looking to go, and then one that is not in alignment. So I'll give you a really simple example of one that I've really worked on the past year. I think I might have shared this before. But it had to do with invoicing. Invoicing clients. So invoicing clients, invoicing podcast sponsorship people, whatever it may be, so consulting possibly, et cetera, et cetera. And so I noticed that I would expect to want to be paid quickly. But then when I looked at the invoices that I owed, I noticed that I wasn't paying them quickly. So how funny. I wanted people to secure the invoice quickly, yet I was taking my time in securing invoices, whether that was freelancers, whether that was my dude Darren, other programs or whatever it may be that I've done. And that's when I was like, okay, this is not in alignment. Completely out of alignment. Energetic energies that are going against each other. And so for the past year, I've worked my ass off that when invoices come in, I pay them immediately. Like, because I get them on the phone, so it's like 60 seconds or less, like pay that shit now. And I will say that without a doubt, this small, seemingly small shift, now, when I send invoices, they get paid quickly. And it's not because I'm pestering people all over, but also I don't have a problem following up more aggressively. Why? Because now I'm in alignment. Now I'm actually doing it. Now I pay my podcast guy, not 2 days later, I pay my podcast guy the day of or before. So I want you to type in the comments one behavior that's in alignment and one that is not, and I'll read these off just for the sake of brevity. Aaron says, alignment, wake up at 4:30 on weekdays to open up my days. Beautiful. Love it. Elizabeth, consistent meditation. Beautiful. Keep going, keep going. What's in alignment for you behavior-wise? Aaron, out of alignment, can't be on time to save my life. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's kind of similar to my invoicing one, man. Right? I used to be the worst with that, man. Now I'm like a sniper. I'm like a SEAL fit sniper. Love it. Marcel, consistent meditation. Roseanne, wake up early, hit the gym every day, eat clean with my macros. Beautiful. Totally. Oh, bet on time for Aaron. Okay, cool. Huge. Keep listing them out, guys. Also list out the ones that are out of alignment. It could be bedtime. It could be watching 2 hours at Netflix, even though you're looking to start a side hustle. And those 2 hours a day, 14 hours a week, is that serving your side hustle? Dylan, alignment, coming up with ideas and a message. Delivering. Ooh, so this is a good one. Delivering the message and the content. Right? Coming up with ideas and delivering. The gap right there. Ryan, structure, time, priority management. Structure is given. Smart nutrition completely empowers my mood and motivation. 100%, Jason. Elizabeth, out of alignment, not completely locked into my daily tasks. Yep. So this is a big one. Anyone who's running their own business and stuff, it can be very easy to be off focus, right? And so our alignment is that our vision is that we want a powerful business, a powerful side hustle. But then when we look at our action steps, we're spending a lot of time not doing the stuff required, or maybe spending time in shallow work. Nick, alignment, move my body 7 days a week. Roseanne, one major event, I binge drink beyond capacity, takes me away from the routine for a few days. Big one, right? Absolutely. Marcel, out of alignment before sleep too much. So we had one of these conversations with another client, and they ended up, we just recognized that alcohol was like, sadly enough, like alcohol, it wasn't like, they weren't like an alcoholic by any means, but it was just like a pattern that was repeating, that was putting them out of alignment. Why? They would have drinks. The next day they would feel less inspired. They would be more prone to negativity, and they were already kind of negative. And so it just like snowballed effect, right? So some of these might seem small. It's not about size and scope, guys. The small ones could be the biggest ones because they create that domino effect. Ryan Olson, out of alignment, terrible, providing my own structure. Love it. Another client, another one of his was, he wants to double his business, and he's out of alignment because he's never used a calendar in his life. And we identified that in order to get him to that place, like organization and structure was going to be massively important. Jason, out of alignment, I take an abundant step, but once there's an obstacle, I'll go into paralysis by analysis. Yep, beautiful. Nick, out of alignment, not investing myself at the level I expect potential clients to. Big one. Beautiful. Dylan, that was me. I no longer drink. Awesome, guys. So really good to see this. Hopefully you're getting some just clarity of getting these on paper and sharing them. Because once we do, because we never really take inventory of the mindsets and the behaviors. I mean, like, this is rare that we actually sit down and say, hey, based on where I want to go, what is this actually serving me or is this not? And so we can sit back and be very objective. And this is why I like doing this in front of a whiteboard here at my office. And I can say, perfect. Now I got it all on the table. And I can be very, just very clear on what is serving and what is not serving. So behavior habit, awesome. So let's go to the next here. So next is a pattern. Now this is similar to behavior or habits. The only distinction is I want you to identify a pattern that just comes up time and time again. So, for example, like my invoicing one would be a perfect pattern that was out of alignment, like taking long to pay invoices. Another pattern could be, and some of you mentioned, so like these can blend similar to behaviors in action, but to me a pattern is something that is happening like really, really often, like over and over and over and over again, that is stopping you. All right, so maybe the pattern is every weekend I am consistently having high doses of alcohol. Maybe the pattern, so I'll give you an example. I actually identified one recently. My friend Brandon Duncan, he sent me a little app that tracks your phone, which is pretty scary. So it tracks how long you are on the phone. I think it's called Moments or something like that. And I noticed that how much time I was spending on Instagram and on like a daily basis. And like to distract totally, not to work on business, like I was saying, because posting 3 times a day and commenting probably takes like a half hour, but it was like 2.5 hours or 2 hours or something like that, just on that app. And it just blew my mind. Right? And so this was a pattern that was happening basically every single day, right? That was making me more scattered, less focused, comparing myself to others, blah, blah, blah. Like the list just goes on and on. So just like we did with the last one, I want you to identify the same thing. And maybe this is very similar to the habit one. Maybe it has become a habit and pattern, same thing, but maybe it's something different. So we're going to do that. Stop share. So type that in the comments when you have that. Maybe your pattern is, maybe this is the pattern. You get excited about a new initiative and you're ready to launch, and then the pattern is you don't actually get started. Maybe you get excited about something, fitness program, business, relationship focus, and then you stop. Maybe it's the way you communicate with people. So let's see. Jason, a customer doesn't respond to text message. I begin stewing. Did I do or say something wrong? Puts me in a tailspin and often affects my personal. I love it. Beautiful, very specific one. Great one. Right? Roseanne, my pattern. I don't drink often, but when I do drink, I don't know how to stop, and I drink more than someone should. Any routine I have goes out the door, but I'm not allowing that to happen this time. Love it. Love it. So this is just a big one. Just a big one. Creates a domino effect, right? Keep sending them, guys. These are great. Another pattern that we identified with someone was that, it was really good. Oh, it was every time they saw someone on social, they realized they would like create a story about like why they're doing what they're doing. Like specifically like people that they thought were successful. Like that was their pattern. And they actually fixed it by every time that happened, they would make a positive comment to that person. Saying, hey, love what you're doing. Beautiful. Like that's a massive transformation, like pattern, like seeing somebody doing something, or maybe it was a family member, whatever it was. Dylan, wake up late to work out in the evening. Don't wake up in time. Back to working out in the evenings and put in purpose tasks off. Big one, my man. Big one. For me, unless it's like you have a job where you like it's just like impossible, like it's almost like training in the morning for mental clarity. I mean, circadian rhythm. It is huge, especially if you're creating your own stuff. I mean, it really makes a difference. Nick, I have that moment app too. Brutal, man. It's like knowing once you know, you're like, holy crap, I don't want to see that I was on the phone for 6 hours today. Facebook use is unreal. Definitely need to cut back and keep it focused on potential client interaction or shipping content. Beautiful. Absolutely agree. Marcel, daily study is awesome. Trouble writing down my beliefs. Okay, cool. Brian Olson, second Roseanne's domino effect can knock me way off. Beautiful. I swear the domino effect has affected people in this group. Like they probably had like a weekend where they binged and then Tuesday came around and they were just like less interested, and then a week went around and now they start feeling guilty because they're not interacting with the group, and then et cetera, and then 2 weeks go by and then they're gone. Like this, like I see this all the time, right? And it was just like one small thing, right? And that's what I'm going to share in a minute. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Elizabeth, getting 95% of the day down a road, figuratively not completing the task exercise. Oh, 95% of the way down. Yes, completion. So completion is a pattern. Another client, he would not complete things, 95% on everything. He would leave 2 forks in the dishes. 2 forks, like every time. Would not finish. And so, what did we focus on? Finish. Anything you start, finish. Doesn't matter if it's cleaning the car or cleaning the dishes or launching the program. We got to focus on completion. Aaron, pattern and alignment. Every day when I get home, I make a point to immediately take time to engage with my wife. Beautiful, man. Intention is really good on that. When you get home, you get out of work mode. I am here to connect. I'm here to engage. I'm here to love. Pattern out of alignment. Have a hard time focusing on her or really anything that's right in front of me. Okay, beautiful. Awesome, guys. Powerful shares. Okay, so now we're going to go into the next step. So we're specifically focus on the 3 out of alignment, either patterns, behaviors, mindsets, et cetera, and we're gonna come up with a new alternative for you all. So I just gotta go back to that. Okay, so we're gonna review them, right? So we have our belief. We're only going to do the ones that are out of alignment. We got our belief. We got our habit or behavior. And we have our ongoing pattern. And the truth is, when I do this exercise, guys, like I will also do stuff like environments. Like, is your environment in alignment? Is your social circle in alignment? Or the people that you're hanging out with in alignment? Or your conversations in alignment? Or your, like, I'll literally go down the list, right? But I just want to do like the core, the big rocks for you guys. And so now I want you to just take a moment, and we're just going to look at what's out of alignment. So our belief, our habits, and our pattern. And so I want you to just objectively look at it. And now I want you to come up with an alternative. I want you to come up with an alternative that will take that out of alignment and put you in a place of alignment. So, just for example, if the pattern was I don't pay invoices on time, now the new pattern is I commit to paying invoices on time within 24 hours or less. If the pattern is every single week on Saturday nights, I have an ungodly amount of drinks, we're going to create a new pattern. Now, obviously, this is something that you're ready to transform and get into alignment. So just take a moment for all of those. Identify one new solution that is more in line with where you're headed, where you want to go. Absolutely, Elizabeth, that's going to happen. They're going to be connected. They're going to be connected many times. Ooh, love it, love it. Okay, cool. And I also want you guys to start sharing your new pattern that comes up. New pattern, new mindset. Share one of the three that you find most powerful, whether it was your belief, your habit, or your pattern, and put it into comments. And so Elizabeth says, set reasonable daily goals, organize them, and finish them before the end of the day. Yeah, another great pattern that I'm back into, because we tend to slide with these things, is airplane mode to start and finish the day. I was amazing at it. I diverted out of alignment, made excuses. Now I'm back in the game. Dylan, phone on, do not disturb at 10 p.m. Love it. Dude, disconnected, man. Done. 8 p.m. is my time. Same exact thing. Although I think I'm on do not disturb all day. But specifically, airplane mode. Peace out. Keep sharing, guys. Let's see what comes up. New patterns, new behaviors. Share the one that most calls you. Let's see what comes up. Oh, we got a question here. Let's see. Zoom is so weird with this stuff. Okay, cool. There we go. Elizabeth, Tommy, how do you handle D&D or airplane mode if Taylor or someone important needs to reach you? Yeah, it's a really great question. And, I've communicated. So this, for me, the hardest part about this was when I was running my fitness business. And I used to go on airplane mode at 8 o'clock. And I had 12 people and potential emergencies that could happen. But to be honest, I communicated ahead of time, and everyone knew that after a certain time, 8 o'clock, they would not be able to reach me through the phone. So it's definitely a trade-off that I create. Taylor, if she had an emergency at 1 a.m., unless she showed up to my door, I would not hear about it. And so it's definitely a trade-off. But for me, I know that the benefits of being disconnected for my own sanity outweigh the potential risk. And I know everybody has different risk tolerances, and I know it's completely different when you're a parent and all of that stuff, but you just do the best decision that you can. I believe there's stuff that you can do with the phone that you can like be on do not disturb, but somebody can, you can still show alerts or something like that. But that's how I would deal with that. And my employees kind of thought it was a little crazy. They were like, so what do we do if and I was like, guys, I trust in your ability to make sure it happens. And in those 3 years, we never had anything like that, but you never know. Let me just read this off, guys. Okay, cool. Jason, decide that I bring value, and if people want it, awesome, let's do this. If they don't want it, your loss. Mine is working on my belief. Doorway trigger. Anytime I pass through doorway, chest out. Boom. I like it, man. Love the energy. Jordan Peterson, new book, one of his 12 tips for life is when you enter a room, open up your chest. Stand tall. Not from a place of like bravado. It's you're open, but you're confident in who you are. Right? This value one that Jason shared is really, really big, guys. Really, really powerful. Like owning your value. Not allowing your past mishaps or where you've fallen short or what chaos has happened in your life, what you screwed up with, like all of the stuff that everybody deals with. Not allowing that to minimize the value. Marcel, switch the phone off when I enter the bedroom. Dude, huge, man. Huge. Absolutely. Aaron Stevens, set an alarm to go to bed with a note reminding me of my vision and the necessity of adequate rest. I really love that. I really love that. Roseanne, order water after every drink. Oh my God, you should see me when I'm out. One drink, I crush like 9 waters. Taylor thinks I'm out of my mind. Literally live in the bathroom all day. But like, I don't really get hungover. Then again, I'm always at like 2 drinks, but still. Some keyboard. Okay, there's an emergency breakthrough option for contacts. Cool. Yeah, absolutely. That's cool. Out of alignment. I'm not experienced enough to charge on. New belief. I am charging for my experience. My pricing is based on value. That is what I have a ton to give. Beautiful. Love it. Value, value, value. There's a lot of people, lots of people out there, Nick, that could transform giving your guidance. Transform, create ripple effects that we can't even imagine. We transform one person, we transform family, right? And so just owning that and understanding you're in a place where there's plenty of people out there that you can lead in a powerful way. That's your ability to, and obviously you read Prosper's Coach, which is beautiful. And so engaging in deep conversations, and holding that energetic space for them to connect with someone and get real and get honest and see the possibility. And then that's where the value comes in. Ryan, set something in the calendar on days off that forces me to break the routine, get out of the house and convince myself to get those done while I seem to get caught up again. Love it. So this breaking of the routine, these pattern interrupts, beautiful. Beautiful. Awesome, guys. So I really want you to honor what we've written in terms of your new initiative, right? Because it can be very easy to just us have this conversation and it sounds great, but then guess what? We go back into our daily flow. We get to the office, we make the list of the 7 things we have to do, Elizabeth, and then we're okay with just doing 3, right? Or Roseanne, something comes up and you're just like, nope, like you just go back into your old patterns. And so these patterns and these behaviors and these mindset guys are like the path of least resistance. In other words, it's what we're used to. It's what our minds will go to. It's the places that we will go. Guys, I still, with the invoice stuff, I still, like, my initial thing, what was it the other day? Massive bill. Well, not massive, but a few $1,000s. And my first thought was, oh, no, this is where it happened. I was actually booking a flight. So the invoice and the booking of stuff is very similar. And I was booking a flight, and I said, I'll do this tomorrow. Because I didn't want to pay the $600. I just didn't feel like it at the time. And I caught myself because that was the old pattern. And then I said, no, you do this today. And then I booked the flight. So just understand with these new things that you guys have written down, you will want to defer to what you've done. Like that is natural. And that's where the last part of this training is going to come into play, which is the power of the shift. Right? The power of the shift. The power of being able to catch yourself in the act of choosing the old way and steering the ship back to the new way. Big one here. Really, really big one. And so obviously this requires three things. One, self-awareness. Some of the patterns and the mindsets and the behaviors that you guys have listed are so automatic to who you are that you do them without even thinking about them, because they've been done thousands of times. And I like the example of that Joe Dispenza gives, that he talks about this highway that's been paved over and over in your mind, right? This highway, this behavior, this pattern that's been paved and asphalt, and cars have driven over it, and it's become a super highway, and it's just ingrained. And so neurologically, you're going to go there like, it's so easy for you to go there. But the new patterns that you've just identified, those are dirt roads. You haven't done that too much. It's not automatic. It's going to feel different. All right? And so just having the awareness to catch yourself in the moment before you go too far down the path where you're out of alignment. All right? That is huge. Number one is the awareness. Number two is collapsing the time where you are out of alignment. So it doesn't mean that you're going to be in this constant state of alignment 24/7. What happens is, if you can spend the majority of your time in alignment, your level of fulfillment, your level of productivity, your level of purpose is going to be unbelievable. Now, I don't know what the number is. I don't know, if it's 80%, is it 90%, whatever it may be. But I do understand that collapsing the time is huge. In other words, if you find yourself going down the path of being out of alignment, it's going to happen. But how can we minimize that? How can we ensure that it becomes a matter of seconds, not minutes? How can we ensure it becomes a matter of minutes, not hours? How can we ensure it becomes a matter of hours and doesn't become 4 days? How can we ensure, maybe big circumstance, I'd rather have it be 4 days than to be 4 weeks or 4 months or maybe the whole year. We've all spent a year where we're just like completely out of alignment, right? Up to a year. And there's a lot of people out there who have spent a huge part of their lives out of alignment, right? And so the question is, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of, it's not a matter of when, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when it's going to happen. And so how fast can you pivot? How fast can you get back into alignment, right? So number one, awareness. Number two, collapsing in time. And number three, understanding energy. Understanding energy. This is the last one. And what is understanding energy? Well, at your peak energetic state, whatever that may be for you, for most people it is the morning time, although there's a certain amount of the population that is midday and a certain amount of population that is at night. At that peak state, it's very easy to make decisions in line with alignment. For me, like to train in the morning and to meditate in the morning, very, very easy. But if I had to train every day at 6:00 p.m., it would be much harder for me to make my workouts. Now, I personally would probably still make them, but I wouldn't make them at the same token that I would at 6 a.m. If I waited to do my meditation tonight, at night, and I should do meditation both morning and night, so it's not the best example, I would be less likely to do it with consistency. And so what I mean by this piece, guys, is understanding that you're going to have fluctuations of energy. You're going to have less willpower as the day goes on. At the end of the day, you've made thousands of decisions. Why are we most likely to binge eat, binge stimulus watch television for hours? Why is like the example of like the guy coming home and like opening up beer like automatically and sitting down so wired into us? Because it's the end of the day. Energetically, we're in a place where we're vulnerable to old patterns. Right? Vulnerable to old patterns. They've done studies of judges, and sentencing is crazy. It's really, really crazy. Where depending on the time of the day, there are stark differences on their leniency in terms of sentencing. Massive differences, right? And so if you get them at the right time, they're fresh, they're more empathetic. You get them at the wrong time, they're ready for the day to be over. They're experiencing that slump. They're going to be more harsh, right? And so this one's important for you to understand that, for example, for me, I don't check email at night. Not only because I don't want to be connected, but I understand that if I get an email or some type of stimulus, and also Facebook Messenger as well, that has the potential to throw me off course. It could be anything. It could be like a random message from somebody I don't even know. At the end of the day, I'm more likely to respond unfavorably than I am to respond favorably. So just understand your energetic disposition, your willpower, as it fades and it fades and fades and fades. And so what does that mean? Well, it means that you bulletproof your pattern. So if your pattern was that you crush, I'm so bad with candy because I don't really have any, but you just you crush pizza at night or something, right? Or no, the kids' food, like the children's food. This is a big one when I was doing a lot of fitness stuff, like just having the kids' food around. It was just like, boom, crush it at night because it's in front of you and it's there. And so maybe the pattern that you do to bulletproof is that you ensure that you have a meal before you come home. Not a massive meal, but just something to hold you over. So when you get home, you're not in a place of starving and when those chicken nuggets look unbelievable. Does that make sense? So, really, really powerful, guys. And so for the next week, what I want you to do, everybody who was on this training and everybody who watched it on the replay, is to just start to notice throughout your day, catch yourself out of alignment, back to alignment. Out of alignment, back to alignment. Not only the stuff that we discussed, mindsets, patterns, behaviors, et cetera, but let's go a little bit both deeper and more surface area. What are your environments? Are they in alignment or out of alignment? Right now, I'm in an office in downtown Phoenix. I don't have to do this call from here. It took me an hour to get here, and it'll take me 45 minutes to get home. And the only reason that I'm here is because it's in alignment with where I'm headed. I know that when I come here, I'm more creative, I have more power, I have more clarity, and so I'm able to serve you guys better, right? And so if I did this, at home, I would feel out of alignment, personally. Could I still deliver? Absolutely. Could I deliver based on the potential and where I'm going in terms of my vision? Not at the highest potential capacity. So just start to ask yourself, what are the environments that I'm going to? What are the conversations? What are the quality of the conversations that I'm having? With my coworkers, am I buying into the enabling and the excuses? Am I egging them on? Am I buying into that? Right? In relationships, what are the patterns in relationships? Am I taking the lead? Am I being the example? Right? And just start looking and examining, right? And so my intention with this training is to put you in a place of empowerment. Because many times you're only a few couple clicks away from putting yourself in an energetic state of full alignment, right? And what we want to identify with you throughout this next week is, how many of those can we shift? And most importantly, which one is like a major one that we can shift that has the keystone domino effect for the other ones? So for example, for Dylan, like the sleep thing, the do not disturb thing, like to me, that's a big one. Because I've seen what lack of the proper sleep at the right times does for people's energy the next day and consistency. And then that affects their emotional state. And then that affects their belief that when they create content, they want to launch, but they're a little tired from last night. And so they're more negative. And so it just becomes a tailspin of stuff. All right. And so it's these little things. That's why I love the book, The Slight Edge, because it's like the little things. It's not the big things. The little things can lead us to these places where we're now extremely off course. Right? But on that same token, we can be a little bit off course and we can get right back on track. And our next chance to get back on track is the next decision, the next opportunity, the next day, right? I know some people in the tribe have had some struggles, emotional struggles, which we talked about last time, and just off days, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like, just do the best you can in the moment. You're going to have off days, and you're going to, if you can just stay as much as you can in alignment during the off days, and guess what happens the next day? You get a new chance. You get the opportunity to get an on day. And if you can accumulate more time, more decisions, more behaviors, more patterns, more environments towards alignment, guess what we get? Deep levels of results. Deep levels of results and deep levels of consistency. Okay, awesome. Very powerful. So this next week, we are going to really focus on this and see where you're at and see what comes up. I will have assignment for you all in terms of this. And right now, I want to get into a couple hot seats that we had here to finish off, guys. So while we're going through this hot seats, if you have any feedback for anybody in terms of a solution or some perspective, feel free to type it in the comments, and we'll make this a little interactive experience here. So let me just pull these up, make sure they're big enough. Okay, cool. So first hot seat we got is Aaron. Okay, cool. So let's see what we got here. So I'm just going to read it out loud, man, and then we'll have you chime in here. So, okay. The issue I'm having is that I'm encountering a lot of difficulty in balancing my job, my other work, personal business and creative projects, personal growth, and my relationships, right? This has actually become more difficult recently as I've been feeling more fulfilled and motivated in my everyday. The distractions and desire to veg out when I get home from work have been easier to overcome, nice, which has meant more time being productive with my personal projects. Beautiful. Which is awesome, except that if I want to put enough time into them to really get flowing, I don't have time to really engage with my wife, and definitely not anybody else until I'm about to go to bed. Because the thing is, I'm working 5, 9 to 11-hour days a week on a regular basis, and that's when I'm not on call. So I'm beginning to feel like I might have to forego moving the needle on my non-job work until the weekends, just to have time to stick with my personal development and relationship development, which seems like a strategy for very slow progress, and I hate it. Okay, awesome, man. So what we're talking about here is a matter of capacity and bandwidth. First of all, anything you'd like to add to this, my man?
That's about it. I mean, today is a perfect example. I am on call, so that's a once a month sort of deal. It's
Sure.
not as common, but I mean, I got home just in time to jump on this call, and I've been working since 7 o'clock this morning. So,
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. Awesome. So this is a matter of capacity and bandwidth, and what I mean by that is just we step back and we look at all the commitments that we have, right? All the commitments that we have, and also all the priorities that we have, and starting to look at where we may be leaking capacity and bandwidth, but also depending on the season of life, what is going to take importance, right? What is going to take priority?
Right.
Because the last thing that we want is burnout, right? And you've identified that, like, some really good stuff, right? That you've been more fulfilled and been feeling more motivated, right? Which means that you're wanting to do more, but then that can also have a negative effect. So how is this affecting you in the day-to-day?
I'd say the biggest thing is that I try not to set too many goals for myself in a day.
Yep.
Try to set a realistic amount of goals, but I get home usually 6 o'clock or a little bit later. Need to be going to bed around 9:30, and I'm trying to accomplish the world in 3.5 hours, and I can't do everything I want to do and hang out with my wife and all that. So it's like at the end of every day, I feel like I haven't done enough on some front.
Got it. So there's always something that you feel could have been done or should have been done, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So right now in your life, what are your top 3 priorities, top 3 focuses, et cetera?
Oh, I'm not going to include my job because that's obviously a focus of necessity. My relationship with my wife would be number 1. My personal development would be number 2. Including everything we're doing in the D6 and all that stuff in that. And then number 3 would be, if I had to pick one of the side things I'm doing right now, I'll pick the most developed, and that would be my blog.
Awesome. And what's the focus of the blog?
It's actually like a knife and gear review blog.
Okay.
It's really just a passion project that I'd love to turn into a revenue bringer, but I'm not sure how to do that.
Beautiful. Okay, cool. Awesome. And you have a couple other side things that you're doing?
Yeah, but they're all really mostly in the conceptual phase at the moment.
Okay, cool. And then you have your job, and that's an average of 10 hours. Would you say 9 to 11 hours? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Beautiful. So that's a huge energetic component, right? Yeah. Okay. So overall, in terms of capacity and bandwidth, obviously you're going to have your job, which you mentioned by necessity, which is going to take up a massive amount of your daily capacity and your daily bandwidth, right? And so the question becomes, what do we have left over to ensure that the priorities in our life are being taken care of? So specifically with relationship, so this one, and I love the intention that you're setting before you come in, because this one is going to be intensity of presence is much more powerful than accumulated time. In other words, much more powerful to be focused, to be present, to be fully there, right, for 30 minutes, and to be halfway there for 2 hours. Right? And so let me just ask you this: what is your level of kind of presence and engagement when you do spend time in a relationship?
It's not always great. That's one of the problems as well, as going into anything I'm doing, I'm thinking about 15 other things that I feel like I have to cram in.
Absolutely.
So it's focusing on being present in that moment is a challenge for sure.
Okay, cool. What time do you usually get home at night?
Average would be 6 o'clock.
Okay. You get home at 6 o'clock. And what is your level of energy, 1 to 10? 10 being on fire, 1 being exhausted when you get home?
More recently, it's probably been about a 6 or a 7.
Okay, so that's still pretty good. That's pretty good.
Used to be much worse.
Yeah, you're not like a 2. That's good.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Do you have any way that you're currently separating work and when you step home?
Usually I try to do like a 5 to 10 minute brief meditation before I get out of my work truck, just to try to separate the day from home.
Beautiful. So that's what I was going to encourage you. I just call that the buffer technique, right? Ensuring, because it becomes very hard for us, especially like you already tell me you're thinking about 15 things at once, right? And so you come home, but your mind is still in business. Your mind is still in business mode. And so this buffer mode is huge. I do it on Tuesday nights. For me, are my biggest coaching day, 14, sometimes 10 to 14 hours of straight coaching. But then I have date night. And if I don't do a buffer, man, not good, man. Because my mind's in this like coaching mode, and it's like the energy is just different. And so I need to take 15 to 20 minutes to just like, okay, what is my intention now for real? Not just like surface area, but what am I actually looking to create? So that's number 1. So like for you, non-negotiable with the buffer technique, man, it can't be like twice a week. It has to be like every single time.
And it hasn't been, so I'll do that.
Beautiful.
Sure.
Man. We're looking for the smallest possible shifts. You already got a slam schedule. So right now I'm looking for the leverage, the small possible shifts that lead to the biggest possible results on the other side. 2, and in terms of, so that's buffer. In terms of just you creating space in your mind on a daily basis, I see your daily 6s, which are quite expansive. How consistent are you with meditation, just creating space in general?
Pretty consistent. Every day I'm getting at least 20 minutes in.
Okay, beautiful. That's good to know. So the next thing is, man, what I would have you consider is, you got a lot going on in your life. We all do. And
Right.
one of the powerful exercises that I have people do, which I'm going to have you do, is to actually take some inventory of all the moving parts that are currently part of your experience, including any other side projects or creative projects that are that you're currently either conceptually in the phase in, or even the stuff that we've listed here. And I want you to just take inventory and just list out as much as you can.
Okay.
Things that you're doing on a daily basis consistently, no matter how small they are, no matter how insignificant they are. It could be anything from television to listening to the podcast. It could be working on the personal development stuff, the D6 stuff. It could be the blogging. It could be date night. It could be whatever. And I want you to list out what you're currently doing.
Okay.
And the next step from there, after you've listed that out, so do this for 2 days. So can we get some, we can have some variance there.
Right.
Do it for 2 days. And it should be like a really expansive list. Like I had somebody do this the other day and they came back with like 9 things. And I'm like, dude, you're doing like 10 times that, right?
So you mean schedule, like write down what I'm doing per day by the second, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, as much as you can, right? As much as you can.
Right.
Just get that awareness of what's going on.
Okay.
Because once we do that, the next step is that I'm going to have you look at that, man, and I'm going to clear some stuff off your plate.
All right.
Stuff off your plate. Why? Because deletion is a game changer, man. In fact, I believe it's in High Performance Habits. I believe. And Brendan Burchard said the first thing he does with any client is he deletes a bunch of shit.
Yeah, it is in there.
Yeah. And this is really powerful practice for us to do too. And so the reason is because sometimes we're consistently doing things that it's just not the right time for it, or it just doesn't serve a purpose, or we're just doing it aimlessly. And that begins to eat up mental energy and mental real estate for the stuff that really does matter. Right?
Right.
And so I'm going to have you do that. Phase 1 is to do that. Take inventory.
Okay.
And then phase 2. Deletion. Identify what you can delete that is not serving the above. And so that might be one of your side projects, man. Right?
Yeah.
Very likely that could be a side project, right? It's
Yes.
It's conceptual, but it's still taking energy from you, from what really
Right.
matters, and it's keeping you in this state of like anxiousness. And the intention, man, for you, the goal for you is for you to get to the end of the day and not say, man, I could have done this, I could have done that. I want you to get to the end
That
of the
would
day.
be nice.
Man. Yeah, I want you to get to the end of the day and say, I moved my life forward today. I moved my life forward. I moved my priorities forward. Right? This is where this becomes really, really important.
Right.
Today I connected with my relationship. Today I worked on myself, so I connected with myself. Today I worked on my passion project. There's nothing else that needs to be done. Right? And just allowing yourself the grace to understand that, right? And not beating yourself up for the things that could have been done. Right? And so guys, this is a big one for all of us because we all feel this. I'm constantly battling myself. And like, I do a decent amount of stuff, and like, but there's still times when I'm like, shit, I could have done more. And then the answer is no, dude. No, I could be more. Like, I could spend more time being, not more doing. Right? Jason says, Aaron, totally get it, dude. Actually, I'm in relationship counseling because of my personal development journey and lack of engagement with my spouse. We've come up with weekly date nights, early AM coffee before kids get up, and lastly, we joined a babysitter club, an app to book sitters on demand. Huge shift, and now she feels like a priority too. So great
That's
feedback.
awesome.
Great feedback from Jason, right? And so that's like strategically ensuring that the relationship is priority. And actually, if relationship is the absolute priority, guess that gets served first. And we create frameworks, just like he mentioned here, that are non-negotiable, right? It's not a matter of if date night is going to happen is, okay, great. This is when it's happening, non-negotiable. So I want you to take these actions, man. 3 simple things. 1, you're going to do the buffer technique, commit to that, non-negotiable for the next 30 days, right?
Right.
Day 2, I want you to take inventory of all the stuff that you're doing throughout the next 2 days. Right. Once that is done, I want you to post that to the group.
Okay.
And then phase 3, once that is posted to the group, I'll give you the green light, and you're going to go through the deletion phase. You can identify what parts of that massive inventory, because I want to see a big one, are not serving you. So we can clear off something off your plate, and we can give your headspace a little bit of a rest. Sound good?
Yeah, I'm going to be completely honest. The thought of that deletion makes me extremely uncomfortable, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah. That means you got to lean into it, my man. Beautiful. Awesome, man. So thank you for sharing. We'll look forward to that in the group.
Thank you.
Right? And just tag me in the post so I know it's done.
Will do.
Okay, beautiful. Guys, big one. Deletion, 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 space, 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 space. We don't have enough of it. Right? We do not have enough of it, and we need more of it. And the more that we can delete, the better. Because at the end of the day, if our priorities aren't getting met, we're not going to be in a headspace where we're relaxed anyways. Right? So of course, we're always going to think something's missing. But for me personally, it's like same thing. Priorities, relationship, my purpose, my business, my clients. I know if those are taken care of on a daily basis, I can hit the pillow at night, and I got no worries, man. I'm not thinking about what could have been. I'm not thinking what should have been. I'm not thinking about the 19 emails that I have to answer, which I'm like horrible at. And I think people think I'm just like the worst, but I just don't think about it because priorities and space. All right, Marcel, Olag in the house. Everybody's missing Olag. Roseanne or somebody else said today they want it back. Maybe Nick, I don't know who it was. They want it back. Everybody wants it back. So, I take a hot seat. I just want to use my appealing job. It's a great reference to be able to say I work for City Soccer Club to attract PT clients to get some extra income. In addition, these seems very appealing to me since I like to start changing people's life quality with training and coaching. So the big question, how do I attract clients without too much marketing? I can't really have a website since my club wouldn't want me doing this side hustle officially. 4 hours a week, 4 clients would be totally fine for my regular work. Awesome. Anything to add to this, my man?
Maybe to add that I had a PT client just once, like 2 years ago for like 4 months. But after that, we kind of like this faded away, and he was like, well, I don't have the time anymore. And it just, that was my first PT kind of experience. But other than that, that's the situation.
Okay, cool. Awesome, man. So definitely don't need a website for this. So 4 hours a week, 4 clients. And what does that look like monetarily? And is this is this like one-on-one training? Is that what it is?
Yeah. There's actually, there's 2 guys that want to train together. Like they kind of asked me already, but like apart from that, like the additional clients would probably one-on-one. But obviously, if they want to like work with somebody else, I would be open for 1 and 2 coaching.
Beautiful. So let's take inventory of your current network, man. Your current network, like environments that you train, circles that you're a part of, gyms that you currently go to, associates, friends, colleagues, people that like what comes up in terms of where there's potential. I mean, because 4 clients, it's very, very easy. So where is there potential right now that's right in front of you? Like where could you pick up potential clients?
Actually, when you ask me now this from a simple question, I realize now, wow, there's like so much opportunity because I work like in a rehabilitation center, and I know a lot of physios that have like potential clients that after they went to these clients, I could just ask them, if there's somebody maybe that you're treating, he could just maybe come afterwards to me. I have, I work in a gym where I could possibly ask coaches if they know any people that kind of want to do some additional training. I could ask other coaches if they maybe have anybody they know.
Beautiful.
If it's just out there, it's kind of a bit of, definitely a network, yeah.
Okay, so there's plenty of opportunity within your network, man. So one of the action steps that I want you to do is to just identify 3 strategic alliances to refer. So for example, it could be the rehab place, right? It could be the rehab place. When I was in the fitness industry, we had like 10 of strategic alliances. And so we did have someone that was PT that would send us people. We also had somebody that was a massage therapist that would send us people. We also had, what else did we have? That was so long ago. All types of different strategic alliances that we said, hey, we're complementary services. We don't do the same exact thing, but the people that are training in your rehab center, the people that are part of your business are most likely open to, oh, okay, so a great one that we had, and this doesn't necessarily apply to you, but just to give you an example, is that I partnered with the top real estate agents in my town in New York. And so why did I do that? Why? Because new people were coming in, they were buying homes. One of the first things that they think about is, hey, where am I going to go to the dentist? Where am I going to go to the gym? Where am I going to go to the whatever, right? So I want you to get a little bit creative and start to identify 3 strategic alliances that you can come in, right? And you come in and you add value. You add value to them. You say, this is who I am, this is what I do, and this is how I can give your clients a great experience that not only benefits them, but also benefits you, right? So that's number 1. What else besides the strategic alliances? Where else are these potential clients appearing right now? Give me a couple other ones.
Possibly like friends from friends. I mean, friends that know me and they know what I work in. They might say, I got a friend that also, you might want to work with somebody like on a PT level. That could be like a potentially new new client.
Beautiful. So another important thing, and I know, are you still currently like part of contract with your club or no?
Yeah, I'm still in contract. I'm still, it's a bit of a weird situation. I'm still put on loan, so I still don't work, but I'm gonna go back very soon.
Okay.
But
cool.
Anyway, it gives me a lot of time from now for being like strategic with my side hustle and the PT thing.
Beautiful. So the second thing is to just leverage your current network, like you said, and just have them understand. And you might have to do this strategically if you are under contract and whatever the stuff that happens with that. But just let them know what you're doing, right? Saying, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm creating. This is who I want to work with. And so if just like letting people know what we offer, right, in our network is huge. Just communicating with them to see, because if they have an experience or they run into somebody or if they run into a referral, that could be big. Right now you have that tandem of 2 clients?
Yeah. I mean, they last time, unfortunately, they kind of canceled the meeting, but they want to start like next week. They want to start with the training.
Okay, beautiful. So in that instance, what I want you to do is that becomes like your best possible case study. In other words, you just over deliver and you give them so much value. You give them so much value that they can't help but be infused with what you're doing. And then after a couple weeks, just wait a couple weeks, and then you just ask them, is there anybody in your network that you could potentially be interested in training? Whether that's their network at work, whether that's network at school, whether that's their network at blah, wherever it may be. Focus on making them your best absolute case study, and leverage the power of referral.
And when you kind of start with them, would you consider like doing like a 5-session or 10-session package just to make sure that otherwise they come for 2 or 3 weeks, they get lazy, whatever, and I don't have time, whatever, find excuses. And by this kind of having this commitment also for them saying, if we working together, I want you also to know that it's not going to be like 2 sessions and afterwards you'll be like, oh my God, I feel amazing. It's going to take time. So you do this in advance, doing this kind of 5-hourly session packages.
Absolutely, man. And this is where communicating value becomes huge. And so when you have the conversation, it's about positioning, right?
I like that.
Positioning is about asking questions to see where they're at, right? And what's happened in the past. And so many times, specifically in fitness and training and stuff like that, you and I know people don't last too long. They track, they don't commit, et cetera, et cetera. And that's where you come in and you say, awesome. So if I was speaking to somebody, I'd say, Marcel, I love it, man. I love it. You're definitely a perfect fit to work with me, and this is exactly what we would do. Now, what we do here, the way I work, is that we secure you for a XYZ session commitment. And the reason we do this is one simple reason: results, which is what you're here for, right? Yeah, exactly. That's what I want. And so you already told me that in the past that you've joined a couple different programs and you have different experiences. And that's exactly when we work together, we're focused on one thing: results. And in order to achieve those results, guess what we're going to need? We're going to need time commitment. We're going to need resource commitment. We're going to need et cetera, et cetera. And so it's all about how you communicate that value. So you're not strapped into something where somebody just gets a one-off session and then disappears.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Love that, man. Fucking love that.
Beautiful, man. So I know this one for you is also tied into just making sure for you, man, because just from other little comments that I've seen here and there, man, like you step into and you own your expertise in this area.
Yeah.
Right? And that like that's your expertise. That's the way you communicate. That's the way that you ask for a sale. That's the way that you ask for a client. That's the way that you train on the floor, whatever that looks like, man. You just come in, you own your value, you step into your expertise, man. And that energy inherently people will feel that, and people will be attracted to you, man. You'll blow 4 clients will be like a joke, dude, because of that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, man. So I want you to just crush these action steps. Identify 3 strategic alliances to refer. Current network, declare to the ones that make sense to let them know exactly what you're doing, right? And for the current clients that you have, just make them your best possible case study. Just start out, just secure a bigger level package, and then we go from there.
That's awesome.
Any other questions on that, my man?
No, man, that's awesome. That's very practical, and I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna crush it. Looking forward to that,
brother. So,
and I need a new challenge, though, man. Seriously, I'm missing the olive myself too. So I'm thinking about one, but I'm open for new suggestions or whatever.
Beautiful. So here's what I want you to do with your new challenge. Tomorrow, I want you to post if you were to start a new challenge, what would be the core skill set you would want to improve on in a short amount of time, right? So is it communication? Is it owning your value? Is it storytelling? Is it whatever it may be? You choose the skill set.
Yeah.
And then the tribe's going to come up with a challenge for you.
All right.
How does that sound?
That sounds awesome.
All right. Beautiful, man. Yeah. Love it. All right. Nice. Great share, man. Let's like action on these, man. Secure those 4 clients and we'll be ready to go.
Yeah, sure.
Awesome, guys. Guys, we're going to wrap up here. I just want to, because I did tell Ryan that I was going to give him a moment here to share his biggest lesson from living with the SEAL. This guy's been doing the most insane workouts every single day for 30 days, in the night, in the cold, in the mornings, et cetera, et cetera. And it has actually affected his engagement in the tribe. But it's because he committed to it, and now he's done. And I want him to share what he learned through the experience, and then we'll wrap up officially. So you have the floor, my man.
Right on. Yeah, I felt like a few people resonate. I'll try not to take too terribly long, but I was reflecting earlier, and I just feel like a lot of us deal with being in a similar place. So I wrote down initially power built and forced momentum.
Hold on 2 seconds. Before you say that, can you explain what the living with the SEAL is? Because I don't know if everyone knows what you did.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, so actually Brandon Duncan and Jesse Itzler, I guess they know each other, but basically Jesse Itzler hired this, at the time, Navy active duty SEAL to come live with him for a month. He saw him at some ultra 100-mile marathon, dude running on broken feet, and just said, yeah, I want you to come live with me for 30 days. And the one condition was, I'll do it, but you have to do whatever I say, whenever I say it, you need to do it. So that's more or less the conditions. So I think before I even joined the tribe, me and 2 buddies committed to doing this not as a New Year's resolution, just we need a couple months to prepare. And granted, we did not have the element of surprise with this like Jesse Itzler did, where they started at one piece they started was called the 4-4-48, where they run 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. Jesse Itzler ended up tweaking his groin or something. And but granted, I knew some of these things were coming. I knew I was going to be sleeping in a chair night 3, and I slept in a chair. So yeah, that was part of it. That part of it was not there, but even knowing what was coming sometimes made it worse.
Absolutely, man.
So, so yeah, that's it in a nutshell. Entertaining.
What was your big? What can you? This is a physical challenge, guys. This is a 30-day physical challenge. This is like not your typical thing. And so, what was the core theme? Like, this is discipline. This is late nights, early mornings. You're exhausted after 10 days. You don't want to do it anymore. So, what can you share with the tribe as the pearl that you really got out of this?
Yeah, and just to give some context, I ran 247 miles in 30 days, and did over 6,000 push-ups. And
Nick's already exhausted.
It's just, it's definitely not just a little stroll in the park. But so the one big lesson, I guess I would say from that, I wrote down power built and force momentum. So I think a lot of times we read something, or like we see a quote, or like, oh man, that makes sense. Tommy just said something that, let me take a note on that. And then when you, as you talk about, trust the process, get in, and despite how you feel, you do it, like something clicks in your brain where you're like, okay, I get it. I get it now. And like, that's one thing through doing this, the importance of like the daily reiteration of our vision. Like I just gained so much clarity through doing this. And like you said, 10 days in, 15 days in, 20 days in, it's almost like, if you didn't have accountability doing something like this, if you weren't in it with a group of people, I feel like 95% of people would not complete a task. And I'm not saying I would have either. Like, having somebody else that was in this with me really kept me committed. But getting to see, because we know fitness is so quantitative that I know it's really easy to compare that to other areas of life. So like my mile time improving, getting to like witness over a minute average of improvement in 30 days, quantifying push-ups. I've never really done it to that extent. And so I think that's a good lesson for training to our limits. Like, I don't think a lot of times we really push to those levels.
Beautiful.
And one other thing, just tying in, guesswork removed. I put this in my D5 earlier, but I think a lot of times I'll use spontaneity for like a guise to like, oh, I want to keep some element of spontaneity in it, and then I end up not getting shit done because I don't want to be so pigeonholed in what I'm doing. And through doing this, having every single day, knowing what I'm doing every single day of the month, taught me, I was kind of relearning for myself that I need to have these things in place. Like, remove guesswork, figuring out what am I going to do when I get home from work.
Love it, man. Ambiguity lets us off the hook very easily. Ambiguity in life lets us off the hook. So we can frame it as the spontaneity thing, but actually it allows us to just pivot off course. But when we, like, I know you and I have talked a lot about structure and discipline, et cetera, it's like when we know what's in front of us, like, we got nowhere to go. The answer is we either did it or we did it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no like, oh, we got to figure it out. We got to see, we got to analyze, we got to plan, we got to, et cetera, right? It's like, no, it's like, it's in front of us and it's there. So from the tribe to you, man, well done. That's beautiful. I saw your stuff every single day, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and 247 miles. Very, very beautiful. And you expanded your capacity in a major way. And for me, it all starts with the physical. You expand your physical capacity, the mental capacity. Obviously, you were tested mentally. You were tested emotionally. And you also tested spiritually, because all that shit's connected. So well done, my man. Now we're glad to have you back, and we'll see what's next for you.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. All right, guys. Well, it has been an absolute pleasure Absolute pleasure to have you guys all tonight for the call. Small, intimate group, which I absolutely love because you guys are here, and it means that you guys got, for showing up, you got even more FaceTime and more interaction. So for the rest of this week, I want you to be ruthless with your alignment. With what you see in your alignment, what's out of alignment, the patterns that you identify that you shift, be ruthless with that. Be very conscious and committed to it, and then also be committed to the pivot, right? Out of alignment, back into alignment. Out of alignment, back into alignment. Out of alignment, back into alignment. And as we go on, I'm going to have a couple shares that I'm going to do for you guys and have you guys share too at the end of the week. If I gave you a prescription, guys, if I gave you some type of hot seat, some type of action step, also we want to see those, share them with the group, tag me, and we will go from there. Tribe Experience. It's been a pleasure. Beautiful. Have a great night. Marcel, challenge coming, brother. Don't you worry. We're going to put you in Living with a Seal too. Love it. Talk soon, guys. Have a beautiful night. We'll see you in the group. Thank you.